I mean, when you consider that there's this piece of trash in fucking Gettysburg that, like, sits there and talks about how he destroys old film that he found, so on and so forth. I mean, he just came right out and said it, that he destroys old fucking film. Alright? How impossible is the idea that these bastards went through all of my videos and everything else that they stole over and over again and just completely destroyed all remnant of me when I was young and are replacing it with their chumbo bastards, I mean, these people don't have any value for any life. They don't even value their own fucking lives. So, what's the possibility of that? Well, photos are still around for sure. Saw those. And some of the online files are definitely around for sure because they restored those. It's just this time period that they continuously drag everybody through. It's questionable what remains. That's the thing. I don't know what their plan for the country is at this point, but, based off of some shit that I saw, I have a feeling it's phase out one group of people, move other people into their place. That's really what it seems like. Like, you see this bastard sitting back here, for example, like behind me. All right. He was basically inhabiting a spot that I was sitting in at one particular point when I was younger, and when shortly after, essentially, I was working with and moving around the country with the fucking military and the like, and just didn't remember because of some shit that fucking happened. Pretty sure that's who he's supposed to be. He was supposed to be me essentially whenever I was more macho and in better freaking shape, before I kind of got returned to my older self, which I don't really like at one point, which is not because I got fat and shit like that, because I wasn't that at all when I was young. When I was in my 20s, a little chubby at points, but I was in pretty good fucking shape overall. I walked a lot of places, a lot of places. I worked out in my mid-20s. In my 30s, I worked out hard. All right, I was incredibly active. I was more active than I am now, and I've been walking like between 5 and fucking 14 miles a day religiously for the last year. Okay, religiously for the last fucking year. So, I don't know, man. I look at them and see people that have particular, love of posterity or, sentimentality. Dude, they've converted so much shit into their faggot crap. I'm convinced if they were allowed, they would do away with all pretense altogether. So who's stopping is the question. Hopefully somebody, is all I gotta say. But they've turned everything into their crap. People who would have been selling knickknacks, for example, in Gettysburg during that friggin' sale, and other places, just other time periods, just because that used to be a way of hiding their shit. Somebody comes along and they buy a monetary value of something one place, all right, and then they buy some item essentially to identify themselves at some specific fucking time or whatever, to indicate that they were buying probably one of us, at some particular point. And then the money makes its way essentially to the other individual, and hookup is arranged and shit like that, real sneaky. It's the reason these pieces of shit didn't get caught as much as they should have, okay? That's the thing. Replacing people who lost their houses and lost their things is something you like to do. Someone will lose their property, and these pieces of shit will come along and buy it up. They'll buy it up and distribute it, and they'll catalog it. Someone will, at least anyway, and then they'll place it back in its house essentially at some particular point, and place a different person there. Take some photos essentially, and they pretend essentially are the other person, or a person like the other person, mimicking their life during that time period. Trust me, they tried to fucking do the invasions of the body snatcher shit on me at one particular point, and I've seen people essentially that reproduced some of my shit more recently, and thankfully they ain't doing so fucking hot, you know. Interestingly, they cleared out this fucking spot here in this town where they had put Caleb apparently, and some other fucking dude, that fucking piece of shit who calls himself John, essentially, that like showed up with Tori out fucking like sharing, is probably another baby raper, who I also saw in fucking like Portland as well, and other parts of fucking like other parts of Oregon and the like, you know, just trying to steal my fucking life. It pisses me off. Erin Wheeler, a girl I went to fucking like, I went to high school with, I fucked a copy of her at one point because I was always hot for her whenever I was in high school, and she kept doing shit like, one time she walked up behind me essentially with her two friends kind of giggling, and this was strange. All of a sudden I feel a hand go up and touch the bottom of my fucking balls from fucking behind, you know. Alright, she did things like that were overtly sexual, and when I was in high school, but she never gave me any. It really pissed me the fuck off, to be entirely honest, okay? And it's probably my dad fucking have her fucking sit there and fucking torture me, essentially, being the virgin boy I was until I was 18 years old, you know? And, well, just shit like that, you know? A lot of heavy flirting and everything else at various points, but then she'd turn around and shut me off, you know? The moment I fucking like tried to get her, I asked her for her number, she actually gave me her number. I tried to call her, essentially tried to get her to come over to my house and so on and so forth. And suddenly she starts acting lackluster. And I had a call from her fucking boyfriend, who apparently was some kind of pimp for her, essentially. And later on, I do remember essentially interacting with a copy of Wheeler, and some of the pieces of shit I went to school with now have copies living in the same fucking places, act like the same kind of pieces of shit. So, like, apparently, there was a whole bunch of that shit going on when I was growing up, including, you know, like, they're fond of people with the name Jessica for some reason, but there was this kid, I think, Libby, and she had a sister named Jessica, alright? Apparently, this kid, fucking Jessica, was definitely working from the time she was younger, essentially, by the way she was acting, and so was people like my old bully Adam Jones, for example, which kind of makes sense because Jones is such a trailer trash name, it really fucking is. And, you know, it's a common trailer trash name. You know, it's amusing that they named me John. It really is, you know. Especially given the number of them that I've screwed in my lifetime, it's really amusing that they named me John. It's like, so to speak, you know. So, I don't know, man. I don't see how this population of people could function in any way except for externally, you know. Make the food, clean up the trash, don't act like too much of a piece of shit, essentially, to customers that walk in and buy stuff. Bend over, show your tits, show your ass, so on and so forth. Walk here at this particular time, walk a kid through here, walk an adult through there, so on and so forth. You know, bait the monsters, you know, bait the customers, and keep walking that path for a decent portion of your life, apparently. You know, like in the case of women just wandered by, you know. React this way, react that way. It's like they're like army ants, you know. An individual ant has no brain and intelligence whatsoever for the most part. It just follows a set of rules and reacts to certain behaviors, and that's how their little machine works, you know. In that one respect, where some of their behaviors are concerned, when they bend, when they kick their legs out, whenever they freaking like, you know, walk by and brush up against somebody, whenever they tap somebody in the arm, when they bend over, when they, I don't remember if I just said that or not, when they say certain words, you know, loudly, you know, like, yeah, or like no, or this or that or the other thing, and the way they do this and that, you know, it's like, do they have personalities enough to be able to have conversations with people who are fucking them half the time? So yeah, I imagine they have some kind of personality. The question is you know, some of them I've seen with their masks off look miserable and weird, you know, and very unhappy, like all the time, like endlessly unhappy, grumpy, and unpleasant, you know. So I don't know what the future of our country holds. It looks pretty bleak at this point, to be entirely honest. I want to move on with life. It's all I wanted to do for the longest time. They've been busy for the last 20 years replacing all the people in businesses. They've been busy buying up real estate. They've been busy buying up businesses. They've been busy replacing people in government buildings. They've been doing this, they've been doing that. And for what purpose? Who the fuck is running this crap? Because if you tell me that they individually organized like this, like a bunch of army ants, and said, people said, well, you like to beat on people, so you live someplace where there's a fire, and you like to freaking like arrest people, so you find a job as a cop, and, you know, and blah, blah, this and that and the other thing, all this other crap. It's like, that certainly makes sense for them to, you know, distribute themselves and then allow for individuals to wander through audit how they're acting and see if they actually fit where they're going, that sort of thing, and rearrange them a little bit, but it doesn't indicate who planned this stupid crap centrally, you know? That's the thing. Who centrally planned this crap in the first place and talked these people into this idiocy in the first place? Because, dude, they had to have been sold on this or been tormented into thinking this was the only fucking way in some cases. And those people that were like that probably convinced people who should be intelligent enough to see the difference, you know? Certainly they threw a lot of women at me and shit when I was younger to keep me busy. So, you know, after a period of warping me to the point where I was just kind of gave up on the opposite sex for a while, to be entirely honest. I gave up on relationships, gave up on everything, because it's just like, Jesus, all the women suck. And it's like, yeah, now we know why. You know? Right? Now we fucking know why. So, you know. The only reason I left here originally is because people here start to suck really fucking bad, you know? That got me exposed to what the hell is going on out fucking west. Ain't that great?